Hello dear students, welcome to our today's session. Today we are going to proceed with textual reading part 2 of third chapter of Ista's book titled as Journey to the End of the Earth, authored by Tisani Doshi. In part 1, we learnt that Tisani Doshi, who is a South Indian writer, has accompanied a team of students of 10th class headed by a Canadian educator Geoff Green, who were going to Antarctica continent, a frigid zone which is located on the southern hemisphere. They have gone there under a program named Students on Ice, and they have journeyed to the southern pole, that is this Antarctica continent, by a ship, a Russian research ship or vessel named Academic Sokolsky. After reaching Antarctica continent, they learnt about its historical aspect, part of history which we covered in the first class. So they have gone there, they have landed there, and they have learnt about the Antarctica's historical aspect, how old it was before separating from the other countries or continents. It used to be part of India, which was known as Gondwana, a supercontinent, Gondwana. Okay. Today we will proceed with human impact on Antarctica continent. So let us go ahead. Human civilizations have been around for a paltry 12,000 years, barely a few seconds on the geological clock. Dear students, what do you understand by geological clock? Geological clock means all the events and happenings on this earth and their chronology. The chronological order of the events and happenings or changes on this earth in this universe is recorded, which is known as a geological clock. And these events and records are millions of years old. So in comparison to millions of years, these 12,000 years are a small figure. These 12,000 years is a very small period, a meager period, right? So human civilizations have existed on this planet for 12,000 years, which is very small period if we compare it with the chronological order of the events of this earth. In that short amount of time, we have managed to create quite a ruckus, etching our dominance over nature with our villages, towns, cities, megacities. So the author here says that within this small duration of time, we have proved our dominance on this earth, we have played with nature to a great extent, and we have caused a great disturbance to this natural habitat. How? By establishing our villages, our inhabited places, towns, cities, and some mega cities or metro cities. So you can just imagine that in a small period, that is 12,000 years, we have caused a great harm to this nature. Then what will happen in millions of years? Means this nature will no more in existence. It will be devastated, destroyed, and spoiled thoroughly by our dominance. The rapid increase of human populations has left us battling with other species for limited resources, and the unmitigated burning of fossil fuels has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world, which is slowly but surely increasing the average global temperature. Dear students, let me aware of the present scenario of our global warming, global temperature. In last 50 years, the average temperature has increased by 1 degree Celsius, which is which in figures seems less, but if we consider it in the climatic aspect, it is a rapid change in climatic conditions and the temperature. It has caused the melting of icebergs, the icebergs and glaciers, which has increased the water level in the sea. As a result, the increased water level has caused the erosion of seashores and thereby reducing the total landmass which is used for human beings to live. So, we can say that in the coming years, the earth will be, that is, the part of the earth worth living will be reduced to a small part, right? So what the poet here, the author here wants to say, that population explosion, a rapid increase in population has been a grave concern for all of us, and because of increased population, we have we have caused a massive disturbance to other species. We have consumed their entitlement of resources, means the other species also need some resources on this earth for their survival, but the increased population has left them devastated, and they have been prevented from using their own using the resources which are meant for them. Rather, we have damaged those resources, we have spoiled those resources, and we have shown our dominance, we have controlled them thoroughly. Also, unmitigated burning means unchecked or absolutely total burning of the fossil fuels like petrol, diesel has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide. The excessive burning of these fuels have caused the excessive emission of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that carbon dioxide emission in the atmosphere has caused the global temperature. Yes, CO2 is essential for survival because it traps the sun rays from going back so as to increase the, or so as to maintain the temperature of the earth surface warm, which is required by human beings to live, or which creates an environment worth living. But if this CO2 increases to a great extent, definitely it will trap all the radiations of sun, and sun rays will be trapped there, thereby increasing the earth surface temperature to a large extent, which will obviously create a big problem for all of us, and the global temperature will increase. That will certainly disbalance everything. Mainly the glaciers will be melting because of that. Climate change is one of the most hotly contested environmental debates of our time. Yes, nowadays so many debates have been taking place, and in those debates the core issue and the main topic which is discussed is about climate change. Will the West Antarctic ice sheet melt entirely? So these are the questions raised there, that whether West Antarctic ice will be melted completely, will the Gulf Stream ocean current be disrupted? Means the Gulf Stream ocean current, a flow of, what is ocean current? Ocean current is a continuous directed movement of seawater generated by a number of forces acting on the sea, that is gravitational force and other forces even. So will that also be changed in the coming years? This is also debated. Thereafter, will it be the end of the world as we know it? Maybe, may not be. So Are the days not far ahead when this world will be vanished? It will come to an end and the convulsion of earth will take place? Maybe or may not be. It may happen, may not happen. This is generally discussed. Either way, Antarctica is a crucial element in this debate. But whichever debate and whichever topic it is concerned to, Antarctica is not left behind. It is discussed at large scale, not just because it's the only place in the world which has never sustained a human population and therefore remains relatively pristine in this respect, but more importantly because it holds in its ice cores half million year old carbon records trapped in its layers of ice. Dear students, author here means to say that Antarctica remains as a topic of discussion not just because this continent doesn't have any human inhabitation or the human beings are not living there. This is not the issue, and for that this is not discussed there in the debates. But the main concern for the debate is that there is half million year old carbon record trapped in the layers of ice. So in the ice of Antarctica continent, the carbon records are trapped. And as you know, to know the age of something, carbon dating is used. For that purpose, if you want to study and examine the Earth's past, present, and future, Antarctica is the place to go. So this remains the topic of discussion debates because of the carbon which is trapped in the layers of ice in Antarctica, and by means of that carbon we can study about the past, present, and future of this continent. What happened millions of years ago, what is happening there right now, and what may happen in the future. So for that point of view, Antarctica is discussed at large scale. Students on ICE, the program I was working with on the Sokreski aims to do exactly this by taking high school students to the ends of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities which will help them foster a new understanding and respect for our planet. So the author says that the objective behind taking these students in the program, students on ICE and on the ship Sokreski, was just to understand this planet, create and encourage the students to learn about this planet, what is going to happen, what happened earlier, and what is required for the safeguarding of our planet Earth and particularly Antarctica. It has been in operation for 6 years now, headed by Canadian Geoff Green, who got tired of carting celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers who could only give back in a limited way. So the author says that for last 6 years, Geoff Green has been taking many scholars and the curiosity seekers who are having intriguing quality to know about the earth, mainly Antarctica, and the global scenario, but they could hardly study about it, or they could make hardly some changes according to their study or according to the mission they went on there on Antarctica continent. They could not make an expected change. They could not create an awareness among the others who are causing disturbance to this ecosystem and who are causing the harm to this planet and Antarctica continent. They went there, they studied so many things, but they could not bring those details and their knowledge on ground for the other common human beings. Okay. So with students on ICE, he offers the future generation of policymakers a life changing experience at an age when they are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly, act. So, the main objective behind taking these students there, Geoff Green wanted to foster an interest or encourage these students who are considered the policymakers of future, who can change the life to certain extent on the basis of their experience. They can learn so many things, they can absorb a good knowledge, and most importantly they act. Okay, they act according to the situation, act according to the study, and they can do some remedial action to stop any harm to this planet, to Antarctica continent, because he knew that the young students are very enthusiastic, full of zeal and courage to know something new about the planet Earth, about Antarctica continent, and other events which have happened on this earth. They can really execute their knowledge to bring out some positive changes on this planet. The reason the program has been so successful is because it's impossible to go anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. So, why this program has been so successful? Because to go near South Pole is not so easy, and it is not so feasible for others. Okay, if somebody goes there, definitely he will be affected by it. It's easy to be blazed about polar ice caps melting while sitting in the comfort zone of our respective latitude and longitude. Means while sitting at our homes, respective latitude and longitude means our location on this globe, our countries, our native places, our home. We can sit there and we can think about what is happening in the Antarctica, how the ice caps are melting, and we can stay unimpressed or emotionless about Antarctica until and unless we visit there. Right? The author means to say that people who are staying away from Antarctica, who have never been there to see its actual condition, cannot realize what is the harm we are causing to that continent. Okay, for them it is everything very normal, that the ice is melting, and it is not of a great concern for them. They are in the comfort zone. But when you can visibly see glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, you begin to realize that the threat of global warming is very real. So, the author says that practically when you go there and you see the ice melting, means glaciers retreating means the melting of ice is faster than the accumulation of snowfall, means snowfall is less, whereas the melting is going at rapid rate. Ice shelves collapsing. Ice shelves means the large flat sheets of ice attached to the landmass. They are also collapsing, they are melting. Then you can realize that yes, global warming is a great cause of concern, and global warming is the key issue which is causing a great harm to these icebergs like Antarctica continent. Antarctica, because of her simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. So, Antarctica is a very simple ecosystem. Dear students, ecosystem is what? Yes, the coexistence of the biotic and abiotic components which are essential to remain in balance on this earth for the existence of this living planet is known as ecosystem. For example, the living of human beings, the existence of human beings, the existence of animals, birds, insects, and so many other living creatures, along with the mountains, rocks, hills, oceans, lakes, and other abiotic components, is very essential for the existence of this complete planet. So, Antarctica is having a lack of biodiversity in the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. So, if you go to Antarctica and study about it, yes, you can come to know that a little change, a little negligence of human being can cause big repercussions, means consequences can be very grave, consequences can be very harmful and of dangerous nature. So to maintain the ecosystem, we need to maintain the balance of everything, means population control should be there, emission of carbon should be checked, CO2, that is emission of CO2 in the atmosphere should be controlled, and there are other many activities which need to be checked, which need to be which need to occur to certain requirement which is essential. Take the microscopic phytoplankton. What is this phytoplankton? Phytoplankton is a small plant in the एक्वाटिक वर्ल्ड. ओके, ओशन में जब ये ग्रास टाइप होते हैं, बहुत ही छोटे छोटे ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते हैं ये, राइट. सो ये स्मॉल प्लांट्स होते हैं, एंड फाइटोप्लैंक्टन हैज़ बीन टेकन फ्रॉम ए ग्रीक वर्ड, राइट, विच मीन्स प्लांट. सो दोज ग्रासेस, सो फाइटोप्लैंक्टन मीन्स द ओशनिक ग्रास of the sea that nourish and sustain the entire southern ocean's food chain. To maintain the food chain of this aquatic world of the oceanic creatures, this phytoplankton plays a vital role. Okay, this is the key of this food chain. These single-celled plants use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important of processes called photosynthesis. So dear students, photosynthesis is a process in which plants prepare their food. How that happens in case of aquatic world? These phytoplanktons are the single celled plants. They take the energy from the sun, they absorb that energy, they mix it with carbon, synthesize means combination, combine it with the organic compounds, and that becomes a marvelous and wonderful food with the process known as photosynthesis. Scientists warn that a further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton. Yes, ozone layer acts as a shield to prevent the ultraviolet rays to reach the earth from sun. So if the depletion continues to the ozone layer, then definitely this phytoplankton will vanish, means these single celled organs will vanish. Okay, they will be destroyed, which in turn will affect the lives of all the marine animals and birds of the region and the global carbon cycle. So in case global warming increases, ozone layer will deplete and phytoplankton will be affected. Thereby the food chain will be disrupted, and once food chain is disrupted, these marine animals, means aquatic animals, aquatic creatures which are living in the sea, oceans, and birds of that region will definitely be affected. They won't have enough food to live on, and the global carbon cycle will also be affected by that. In the parable of the phytoplankton, there is a great metaphor for existence. So parable means a simple story to illustrate some moral or a spiritual lesson. So according to that spiritual story, phytoplankton survival is essential. And why it is essential? Because existence, for its existence, there is a great metaphor said in that context. And what is that? Take care of the small things and the big things will fall into place. Means what we need to do is we need to take care of the small plants, small creatures, small things. Definitely the big things will be nourished and they will fall into place, means they will keep on existing on this earth. But once the food chain is disrupted, food chain is broken, which starts from the small creatures, small plants like phytoplankton, definitely the big things will come to an end and they will be on the verge of extinction. Thereafter, walk on the ocean. This is the last part of this chapter. Now they are going to walk on that bare snow of Antarctica continent. My Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies. But what is epiphany? Epiphany is a symptom of divinity or supernatural things. So Antarctic experience was full of some supernatural things or divine experiences. But the best occurred just short of Antarctica Circle at 65.5 degree south. When they were coming back, they were at an angle of 65.5 degree south from the Antarctica continent, or this Sokolowski had managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and Tadpole Island, which was preventing us from going any further. So peninsula means a place which is raised or projected out of water, or a place which is surrounded almost from all sides by water. So now when they were coming back, their ship, that is Sokolowski, was going through a narrow wedge, means to force through a narrow place. Sokolowski was going through a narrow place and there was a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and the Tadpole Island. So this ship was going through the peninsula and Tadpole Island, which was a narrow place, which was preventing us from going any further. So they were facing some hurdle while going through that passage. The captain decided we were going to turn around and head back north. So once they faced the hurdle in proceeding ahead, the captain very in time decided to turn back, to turn his vessel and head towards north. But before we did, we were all instructed to climb down the gangplank and walk on the ocean. So before the captain turned the ship towards north, he instructed us to come down the ship and walk on the ocean. Means gangplank is like a stair to slide down, सीढ़ियों की तरह जिसके ऊपर से आप फिसल के नीचे आते हैं, उतरते हैं, like that. So he told us to slide on the plank which is used to come down from the ship on the floor, on the surface, and walk on the ocean. So once it was a frigid zone, so we walked on that ice. So there we were, all 52 of us, knitted out in Gore-Tex and glares. So there were total 52 persons including me, and all of us have put on the Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex is a outer cover which is porous and permeable, means it is waterproof, but water vapors and heat can be released through the pores or small holes in that. And glares means we were wearing the anti-glaring glasses which prevent us from the shining of the white surface of the snow covered land, walking on a stark whiteness that seemed to spread out forever. And we started walking on that white surface, which appeared as if it was it was spread to a great extent, large extent, and it was not going to end anywhere. Underneath our feet was a meter thick ice pack. So the thickness of the ice there was almost 1 meter, and underneath that 180 meters of living, breathing salt water, and underneath one that is 1 meter thick ice sheet, the salt water was there. In the periphery, crabater seals were stretching and sunning themselves on ice floes, much like stray dogs will do under the shade of a banyan tree. So, ice shells means flat sheets of ice, flat pieces of ice. So, we could see there that the crabater seals, this is an oceanic creature, seal, you might have heard it, and crabater seal were moving here and there under the ice sheets, and they were just roaming here and there just like a stray dog which runs under the shade of a banyan tree. Okay, it was nothing short of a revelation. Everything does indeed connect. So it was no less than a specific exposure, as it was something new for all of us, and we enjoyed it. Everything does indeed connect means everything was looking quite scintillating. 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water, and many ecospheres later, I was still wondering about the beauty of balance in play on our planet. So, while going through these 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, and 3 bodies of water, and many ecospheres, I, I wondered how it could coexist, how the beauty of balance has a vital role to play on our planet. Means for the existence of this planet, the existence of everything and survival of everything is very essential. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? So it is studied that Antarctica at times used to be a warm place, at times when it was the part of Gondwana. So what will happen if it again becomes a warm place due to global warming? Will we be around to see it? Means, can we see it any further, or will it exist any further, or would we have gone the way of the dinosaurs, mammoths and woolly rhinos? Means, will we be alive to see that warm Antarctica, or we will also be on the verge of extinction like the dinosaurs? Mammoths means huge animals like elephants, and woolly rhinos. So woolly rhinos, these big elephants and dinosaurs have been extincted from this earth. They have disappeared millions of years ago from this earth. Similar way, we also will disappear from this earth if Antarctica happens to be a warm place again, because this time its warmth will be caused by global warming, and global warming will increase the temperature of this planet, which certainly will not allow us to live, which will not create the atmosphere worth living. Who is to say? But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers who still have the idealism to save the world, all I can say is that a lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. So, yes, apart from all these things, I spent there 2 weeks with the young minds who were full of idealism and who are full of zeal, enthusiasm, and courage to know about this earth, to learn about this climatic condition, to know about the reason behind global warming, and they can understand what can happen in a million years. Yes, then a day's difference, a day makes, means all this has happened over a million years. But if we understand our responsibility, our liability towards this planet, we can make a great difference within the days, and we can stop this global warming, we can check this global warming, and we can make our planet again worth living, not only for human beings but for other creatures as well. Dear students, this is all about this chapter. In the next session, we will discuss about the questions and their answers based on this chapter. Thank you.